Yes, hello everybody, and welcome to the Lollicasters podcast. I am Dave the Fox.
I am Tony the Goat with the most.
I'm Mike the Panda.
Yeah, and this week we actually have a new member to the Lollicasters crew. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Ox. I'm big, strong, like Ox.
So he's Ian the Ox. All right, Ox and Ian. I like it. So today we got an interesting little topic. What's up?
Is Ian Russian?
Hey, are you Russian?
I was just sitting here in the chair, man.
All
Oh,
right.
I thought you were Russian there for a second.
Oh, he's just sitting there.
Just didn't want to be racist, you know.
Well, I mean, we kind of are racist. Like, you are white.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
Guilty by association, I guess.
I mean, so am I. I can't really call. I mean, I can't call anything because I'm whiter than everybody in this room. So
Yeah, I mean, like, you're the worst racist here. You're like
I'm like
white and blonde.
I'm like default white. Like whenever you go to default white, that's what I am. So.
Do you have blue eyes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I have no soul going to hell.
You're genetically racist.
That's right. But speaking of people who are going to hell, we're talking today about the adult entertainment industry, otherwise known as pornography or porn. And Tony found an interesting little documentary. I believe it's on Netflix. Is that right, Tony?
That is correct.
Yes. All right. The name is Life After Porn. Or is that, no, it's After Porn Ends. Which one is it?
Yeah, I think it's after porn ends. I can look it up real quick.
Okay, look it up real quick.
You'll find it. I mean, honestly, if I'll just type it in here quick. I think it's after porn ends.
Okay, After Porn Ends.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. After
all right.
porn ends.
Is it a movie or is it a series?
It is a documentary.
Okay.
It's about an hour and 30 minutes long, and they have two of them.
Okay. All right. So there are a couple documentaries about this, and this is one thing that I've been curious about ever since I was a young boy. Like, you know, what happens when these ladies and gentlemen, for that matter, are done with being on the camera? First of all, why do they go on to the camera and have sex? Like, they can't all just be going to have sex because there are other ways to do that, right? So what are their motivations for getting on it, and what happens when they're done? Those are interesting little questions that could be answered. So I think that's kind of interesting to get into. So let's start off with our newest member of the Lollygaggers, Mr. Ox. Ox, what are your opinions, first of all, just on porn in general? Why do you think these girls go, and guys, I suppose, why do you think they go into the porn industry to begin with?
believe it or not, I used to have experience with porn, and not the way Tony does, you know, just jacking it. I was a performer.
Were you?
For 3.5 years.
Oh, shit.
You danced?
A little in the beginning, yes.
Wow.
Did a couple of bachelor parties.
Oh, that's right. You were at my brother's bachelor party.
Was Seraph there?
No. We lured her into the hallway with a roasted ham. But yeah, if she had seen this guy's hog, she would have hopped on that one faster than the ham. So, but I remember that guy. He's got some fancy feet.
Fancy feet.
Oh yeah, he can dance like you wouldn't believe. And the things that he can do with a straw, like, oh man.
David,
Can you show me
the video?
Behind.
Say that again, Mike.
Didn't you show me the video of that?
Yeah. Back to it, Ian. Continue, please. So why would you get into the porn industry?
You seen the asses and titties on those girls? And for that matter, them guys? Spectacular titties on those guys.
I guess it does make sense. I guess it makes sense. All right, so let's hop over to Mike.
One of those monster
Huh?
magnets.
What'd
Wouldn't
you
you
say?
want to get railed by one of those monster magnets?
I don't.
You do.
Uh,
I mean, what if you said no homo first?
yeah, okay. As long as it's no homo. Is it no homo?
Oh, it's homo.
Oh, well then,
I-
no, thank you, sir.
well,
If it's no
I
homo, then
think-
I'll do it all day long.
Hey, Ox, I think you got to word it the right way. If you got to say homo and plus $5,000, and
No, I'm
Get yourself
still.
a boner on your bonus.
as
Like-
long as it's shot in Las Vegas, as long
I-
as it's shot in Las Vegas and no one can talk about it, you're all good.
I put a larger value on my b-hole than that, so I don't think so.
You're in a podcast where we say fuck, shit, and hell, and you say beehole, really?
Gotta draw a line somewhere, Tony.
Okay.
Draw
Why
the
not
line
at
on the
my
bubble.
asshole? Anyway,
Well, what I'm saying here is, I'm glad we're bringing this up because it seems like sexuality in America is really kind of tame
yeah.
compared to like
What are you,
over.
fucking animal?
Not really. What about you, there, Mister Porn Star? But what I'm saying is, in a general sense, it seems like in America, sexuality is really toned down to the point where even I think when the bikini first came out, everyone was like freaking out.
Oh, it happens in waves, right? Like the very
Yeah.
first. A lot of people don't know this, but before like 1950, guys did not take their shirts off in like movies and stuff. You'd have the full length body swimsuit, and the first guy to actually take his shirt off on a movie was, I think it was the dude from what the hell is it? Gone with the Wind.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was the very first
Alan
topless
Shepard?
man in a movie. And
Well,
everybody flipped out.
I think it just comes from the foundation of America is based on Christian morals, and they don't want to
Ooh.
show like too much skin because it'll tempt you to sin and
Yeah.
have sex
That's
outside
kind
of
of-
marriage and whatnot.
That's kind of ironic since Adam and Eve were naked. You know?
Well,
Well,
Tony, do you really want to get off on a debate with Mike about the Bible? Again?
no, I'm just saying.
Remember
I'm
what
just
happened?
saying.
You remember what happened last time you went up to him with the Bible?
No, I'm
I
just saying.
do.
Like, this is what they're saying, okay? And I'm agreeing. I'm actually agreeing with him. Where I do believe religion and sexuality just kind of clash a little bit. It's really kind of weird.
All right, so let's get back. Let's try to
get back
pull
to
this
the whole
fucker
thing.
back to where it was. We're talking about the psychological aspects of going into the porn industry. We're not talking about our own sexuality right now. We're talking about these girls and guys and Ox
Mhm.
going into porn. Why do we think it happens? And now it's Mike's turn.
I know this is gonna sound kind of cliche, but I think it's somewhat true. A lot of women who go into porn have issues with their fathers. They're either not there or they don't give them enough attention, and so they kind of go after other guys to kind of get their needs met, and that just kind of spirals out of control at a point, and they end up in porn. Mostly because they want to have sex, but also because they want the money too.
I don't want to disagree with your point of view there, but it's one of them deals where,
You can if you want to.
well, I will, because that's not really the case at all from the documentary that I've seen from these people.
Right,
All right,
but
what do they say?
But I'm not gonna. And the only it's I'm gonna go with. I pulled up the IMDb who was actually in there and who talked. They talked to you. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 13 different people about the whole thing, and that was the first one. And they had about the same with the second one, and it was more of a motivation of they kind of just fell into it. It wasn't they were seeking it. And a lot of them get smart too, where they realize, okay, this is a business. And you would be absolutely astounded where you get that whole thing where strippers, you think every stripper is just dumb and stupid. Now every stripper is pretty damn smart because they're probably going to college, and they're trying to work their way through college. This is the best money avenue they have.
Yeah.
Show up for 4 hours, you make hundreds of dollars, go home. Really, that's if I had boobies and a vagina and I looked good, I would do it.
That's probably.
I'm serious.
I'm jumping in here. I'm jumping in here. That's probably why girls get paid more for porn, because they totally do. Because dicks are free. Dicks are free and vagina costs money. Like that's your
Right.
Like, guys, if guys could fuck their ways to the top, then we would be at the fucking top. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
we would
and
already be there.
And it's funny too because you could name on one hand about famous male actors in porn compared to famous female actors in porn. You could probably like double the hands on up as far as it goes.
One hand, the other one's a bit busy.
But
I won't be needing that.
I think the other reason that women are more famous is because there's like a bigger variety of like women. Like you have different body types.
Mm-hmm.
But with the guys, it's usually just like the big muscular dudes.
Well, there are some that are like weird job of the hut. Like, how the fuck did you get there?
Yeah, like Ron Jeremy.
Well, for him, that one's more like a legacy thing. Like, he started out when he first started out. If you watch like an old clip of Jeremy, he was pretty in shape.
Back in the day.
Right, and then like later he turned into what's known as the hedgehog, where he's not a hedgehog. He's just a fat guy now.
Well, and watched a documentary on him too, where it turned out to be he was being cast for a simple reason, because producers say like, this is an average guy. He's got a belly. He's the average American, and he's screwing these hot porn stars. What do you want to see that? And first thing in my head, I'm going like, that's a bad fucking decision, but I'm sure there's someone out there that want to see it. I'm going like, wow.
Well, in storytelling, relatability is very important, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing too I found about him is he really wanted to be an actor. Like, for God's sakes, he really wanted to be an actor.
And he just had to bite the bullet and start having sex with ladies. Oh no.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Tough choice, you know. I know. I feel bad for the guy. Didn't get his dreams.
Okay, so now we've tagged on the ox and we've tagged on panda. Tony, you've been rather quiet today. Would you mind showing us a little your opinion on this whole thing?
Well, I think you've already got it. I mean,
yeah, I know. I was just being an asshole about it.
Well, you know, I'll say this, just because they're a porn actress, they're not dumb.
No one said they're dumb.
Well, that's the general consensus. Well, I don't know.
Maybe that's the way you look at them.
Yeah, that's the stereotype.
No, I mean, it is a stereotype.
It is.
And I never thought that in the first place, too. It was a matter like, yeah, it's like my buddy and I went up to...
You don't have to be smart to make a bunch of money. I mean, your profile pic right there, Mr. Trump.
But it's really kind of amazing how... This is what really draws me to draw the question, is like, why is sex so taboo? That's probably where the porn industry actually made their whole thing. Sex is taboo. Right. What's the first thing you do when you turn 18? Yeah, go buy a porn mag just because you can. Buy a pack of cigarettes just because you can. You do all the things that you're told you can't do at 18 just because you can.
No, I don't think the porn industry is successful because it's taboo. I think it's because it's a natural male. It's a natural human instinct to be attracted to naked bodies.
Right, and porn, at least the way I'm looking at it, porn is like a bag of potato chips versus sex, which is like a really nice meal that takes a while to prepare. Like, there's a quicker release, obviously, with porn, but at least in my opinion, in my experience, the quick release of porn pales wildly in comparison to the ecstasy of actual sex. That takes a little longer, obviously it does, for anybody who has any experience. But the longer is not worse. It's actually much, much better because there's a little more build to it. And also, I mean, it just feels a little better for some reason.
Well, you're actually bonding with like an actual person, whereas porn is a fantasy that
Right, and now I would agree.
Really satisfies.
I would agree with that, Mike. But when also in situations where it's just me masturbating to my thoughts, it's still better than jerking it to a video.
I just looked up the definition of pornography. I was curious about the whole thing, where the word came from and when the word was first invented, how it got there, who made it.
I guess it's Greek.
I don't know. I really have a shitty ass.
It's probably
dictionary.
Latin. Probably Latin.
I really.
It's one of the two.
Yeah, it's either Greek or Greek or Roman. Which one?
It's either English or some other language. One of the two.
Yeah, it's one of the languages from Europe or Asia or Africa.
Oh, here it is. Mid-19th century from Greek. Right about prostitutes.
Porne, prostitute, and graphene, right.
Yeah.
Greek, pornographos.
Yeah, okay. I was just
Century,
curious.
pornography.
I'm just curious, like, if it came up in, like, the 1800s, the, 1900s.
Oh,
it's like
porn's
the 1900s.
always been there in one shape,
Right.
one way, shape, or form. It got really, like, weird around, I think it was, like, 1700s even. A lot of, maybe it was the Victorians or something, a lot of dudes were like, oh, yeah, you lower folks, you ladies and lower folks, you can't handle the gratuitous sexual beings in this stuff. So then they started making porn like morally reprehensible, even though they were all still watching
Sure,
it.
porn was used back in the day of stone tablets
That's right.
and everything. Because where do you think the term "get your rocks off" came from?
They keep the socks guy around. He's kind of funny. Well, you know how I am with words, okay? I just want to know why the word means that, where the word came from, and maybe dissect it a little bit as far as it goes. But it's just, I found it an interesting documentary. I think all of us would, if you sat down and watched it. I mean, it's very, very interesting. They pretty much, I think, one girl, she started up at the age of 19, retired at the age of 30, and is still making royalties off of what she did, and plus it's a website.
Right. Now, before we get into this whole thing, I'm afraid that we're casting just one shadow or one light on this whole thing. I'm going to throw out my opinions of a lot of stuff right now. Like, I don't want to make this into like, oh yeah, everyone should get into porn because it's the smartest and best thing ever, okay? Because it feels like we're doing that. Because what I've started to notice in the last few years is people stopped looking at porn like it's a negative alternative. Because I honestly think if you have a better option, go ahead, by all means take it, because money is not the end-all, be-all of everything, okay? Like, I don't have a ton of money. I could make probably a ton of money doing stuff that I don't want to do, but I'm not going to do it because, to me, it's not going to be as healthy for myself. And now this is what I was trying to get at earlier when I was talking about, sex versus porn. Sex feels more gratifying versus porn, which is just a quick flash in the pan, and sometimes doesn't even feel that, I guess, that powerful. Like, it's not that sensational, as I would say. It's just a release of whatever pressure that builds up.
Sensational is the perfect word.
Thank you. But what I'm getting at there is, if I'm trying to get at anything, holy crap, I'm kind of circling here. I think that it's not necessarily bad to watch porn, or if you're in the porn industry, you're not a demon or whatever, but I don't want to look at this like it's the best thing ever. And I think a lot of times nowadays even, people are trying to overcompensate for the idea that sex is not a positive outcome for your life. If that's the best you can do, if you're doing that and you know you're going in to get money and get out and all that stuff, I think it's one thing. But there are some girls in that situation where that is their only option. They got nothing else. Like, they don't have... Some of them are really smart, but then there's a good portion of them, stereotypes exist for a reason, who are not smart enough to do anything else. They don't understand the psychology or the outcome of what they're about to do, and a lot of them do break. That's why there's a lot of drugs and alcohol abuse and everything there. And some of them are using the adult industry, because I got really interested in the psychology behind it when I was in college, and I would watch documentaries and everything. But some of them are doing that because that's the only place where they can actually survive mentally. Because if they were in an everyday job, they would have a breakdown on day one. All right. Like there was one gal, I'm not going to name a name, but if you want to look her up, go ahead. But she was talking about her experience of before she was even in that kind of stuff. She was a dancer first, then she got into porn, you know, all that stuff. But she was talking about the experience that kind of was the nudge. She was on a train and some dude grabbed her vagina. Don't make a goddamn joke right now, Tony. I'm watching you.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm actually listening to it.
Okay, thank you. I don't want that.
Jeez, why would you come at me like that?
I'm paranoid about the joke. The one joke, and you know the joke I hate. So.
Oh, fuck that thing.
Okay, anyway. So, she was on a train, and some dude grabbed her vagina, with, of course, obviously without her asking. He just grabbed it and stared her right in the eyes. And this thing, it was a trauma that she got, and it kind of stuck with her for so long, it kind of warped her mind. So she was like, oh yeah, I wanted to go, and I wanted to explore my sexuality and all this, and this is why I got into porn, because I could explore my sexuality, and she couldn't really have regular relationships and all that. And I was thinking about a philosophical question. I don't know where it comes from, but there's a proverb of a fisherman who every day goes to the river and he checks his line for the fish, and he has to maintain his line in order to get the fish, and he has to maintain everything around him so that this line will still be there. And at some point, the question is, does the fisherman own the fishing pole, or does the pole own the person? And now my question is the exact same. Is she getting control of her sexuality, or is her sexuality getting control of her?
Well,
that's my question.
Interesting question. I mean, your question pretty much comes down to, is she enjoying her job, what she's doing, or is she an addict?
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Right. That's okay. Kind of where I'm getting at. Is she actually enjoying this thing, or is this a form of defensively coping in order to try to push that further back?
So basically you're asking is this actress a nymphomaniac or guy? Nymphomaniac.
Mm-hmm.
The interviews I saw in the documentary, I would have to say no.
Well, did you see all of them?
I have to disagree.
Well, you can disagree all you want, but from what I saw in the documentary, I'm going to say that right now, is I'm going to have to say no, not really. There was one actress that wanted to, she described it as, once she put her makeup on and got dressed, she'd be all over the guy, even before the shoot, just to get herself kind of like, familiar with him.
Right.
Because if you don't have fun or whatever, that'd be the closest thing I'd see to what you're talking about. But I really think, and I can't say it's untrue, because, there's got to be that one person out there, like that one chick or guy or whatever, they're like, yep, I just want to screw all day. Let's do it, and I'm down for it.
Well, now again, what I'm trying to get at is this documentary. Of course, they're shedding light in a spot where it probably isn't, and that's perfectly fine because I'm certain that there are really smart gals who get in, get out, don't have any scathing. But the problem there is they're only interviewing what 26 people.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Mike.
Go, Mike.
All right, I read. I think it was like the biography of Jenna Jameson, and she talked about how like when she was younger, she would look at. I hope I'm remembering this correctly, but I think she was looking at like Playboy and like looking at the naked girls, and she was like kind of jealous of them because they were so beautiful and they were getting all this attention from guys. And then later on, she became a stripper, and she just felt like really powerful because all these guys were just like basically falling over themselves trying to get her to do a lap dance for them and stuff, and she was really getting off on it.
Okay, so a little bit of it seems like a power trip on that part. So
Yeah.
what I'm getting at here is I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush. Like they're all going to be awesome. They're all in control. They're all trying to do this or that. And now the documentary it sounds like it's a really good one. It sounds like it's informative, but I'm afraid that if they only look at that one aspect, they're going to think, oh, they're all fine.
Oh, no. There was...
Well,
I'm not trying to get away the whole documentary, but there are a few people in that do regret what they've done.
Right.
And I just don't want to give it away.
Can I say something else?
Go
for it.
When you have like lots of sex with a bunch of different people, it's not good for your mental health because every time you have sex with someone, you create like a bond with people. And then like if you're going around like creating all of these really strong bonds, like having sex with people and just like breaking it off, you're not gonna be able to have a normal relationship afterwards.
Now I'm gonna have to disagree with Mike a little bit. Now I've not had the large plethora of tail like our resident goat or ox over here. They're probably just plowing through fields of ladies all day, every day. But this is from a humble fox over here now. Now I've been with a couple gals here and there, and I would disagree with the idea that multiple partners, maybe at one time, might be bad. But the way I look at it is, if you have, like, say, one night stands or whatnot, you're playing the first level of a video game. One night stand is the first level of a video game because you're learning one person for one night, maybe for 20 minutes, and then you're done. And maybe you're good at hitting the average spot that would most likely give the most pleasure. But what I'm saying is, if you're with a person, and this is more towards what you're saying, Mike, if you're with a person for a long time and it's about the intensity of the relationship, what does she like, what do I like, and how can we find out more about each other, there's a deeper game there. And I'm saying game in the idea that it's an exchange of a situation, not in like it's a video game or it's a board game, or it's not silly. I'm just saying it's a deeper thing there if you're with one person for longer. But what I'm saying is, if you have multiple partners, you can still find that deeper thing. You just need to not be with multiple partners at once, at least in the way I'm looking at it. It's like if you're teaching yourself to be distal, or if you're teaching yourself to not get close to somebody with one night stands, then it's not going to be anything personal. So that when you finally do find someone, then you can let the personal side out. I think that actually happens more often than not.
Right, but imagine you're a porn star for a moment and you're having like sex all day, every day with people that it's just a professional thing.
Mm-hmm.
at a conscious level, you're like, okay, I can't get attached to this person because we're just being professionals here.
Right.
On a subconscious level, you're creating that bond that happens when you have sex with a person.
I do.
And so you have that disconnect between the conscious and the subconscious that occurs, and it's occurring constantly.
Huh. That's an interesting little idea there. Like I don't mind. Like I don't disagree with the whole bonding agent. Like that is completely accurate for the most part. But I'm just saying, don't be discouraged if you have multiple people and they're like, oh well, I'm already in it. I can't get out anyway. You can if you decide, if you make a conscious effort. I like this person. They're wonderful. Okay. We're gonna start to settle down and be with each other. Then you can start to get deeper.
All right, yeah, I would agree that it would be possible for them to have a normal relationship. It would just be harder than normal because they would have to, I guess, deal with their past.
I think at that point they would have to be sure emotionally without the physical side that they're into each other. At that point, that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, so let's actually get on to, this is kind of an interesting thing that I'm getting into, because one more thing that I remember Tony telling me this. One more reason why these gals get into the porn industry is some of them want to be escorts, prostitutes, like high-end prostitutes, and they use porn as advertising, essentially.
Basically, in the documentary, like before, it was advertised where some of the, well, they call themselves old timers or whatever, but people that were first originally into it like 10 years ago, like they invented it anyways, but the new generation coming up, like the 18, 19-year-olds these days, are coming from strip clubs, escorts, and stuff like that, and that's how they find these people, where how they're going to make their name is going out there. They're already escorts, so they'll be more desirable as a porn star, and then go out and do, prostitution. Well, you think about it, you do about 2 or 3 years in the porn business, and then you go out there and then be an escort. I mean, you can charge probably whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I got a question for you guys.
Wait, say that again. I believe that was Ian.
Guys, you think prostitution should be legal?
I do too.
I think so.
Yeah.
As George Carlin, the almighty guy, said, fucking's legal, selling's legal, why can't you sell fucking?
Wonderful.
I mean, I would, on a moral basis, I would say prostitution is bad, but I mean, as long as you're not affecting someone else, I don't see why it shouldn't be legal.
Right, it's 2 consenting adults. The only difference between that and porn is a camera, so
right,
should be fine. Like regulate it, give a business, put up protection for the girls. Like, make sure they do the
I am
light
very
checks.
much against.
Say that again.
I'm very much against prostitution.
Why is that?
Oh, why is that?
Reason.
What?
I think, oh, I've always got this easy way out. Are my genitals.
Right. But if I'm gonna jump in there, how is that different than porn? How
porn,
is?
I enjoy it.
No. I'm saying, how is the prospect of prostitution different than the prospect of pornography?
Much. That's why, personally, all joking aside, fan of strippers, pornography, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I still do it because I'm a naughty little boy.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that women and men are to sell their bodies. I think people need to use their brains more.
Well, that's a good idea,
Discouraged.
But the thing is, it's their choice to do with themselves what they like, correct? Like, now, it's not what we would choose for ourselves, and it's not what we would want others to do, but I don't
think
want
it should be discouraged. It could be legal.
Yeah. Legalize it, but discourage is fine. I'm okay with that.
We could tax the hell out of it.
Yeah, tax the hell out of it.
Like smoking cigarettes is legal. It's very much discouraged.
Right, that right there. Do it that way. But the arguments
I just don't want people to get the mindset that it's all fun and games getting fucked.
Right, exactly. Like, we're trying to get over there too. Thank you, Mr. Ox, for keeping us straight.
Well, it'd be one of the deals. I'm going to tell you this. You go buy a pack of cigarettes, get taxed the shit out of it, you get fucked. Would you actually just like want to pay for the fuck, pay for the taxes, get fucked anyways? In 2 ways. Think of it that way.
But anyway, the reason why I would be okay with prostitution being legal is that way there would be a regulation around it, which would then, if there are women, because there are women who are prostitutes anyway, like they have no other way out, unfortunately. Again, they got no other way out. They got to be a prostitute somehow, or at least they think they do. And because they're doing it that way, they have to deal with less than desirable people taking advantage, like a pimp or whatever.
But something that Ian mentioned earlier about like the whole kind of morality of using porn and stuff is like, it reminds me of this book that I read called Your Brain on Porn. And he's kind of doing studies on like how does it affect you, and a lot of people were like kind of writing into this guy saying that they were getting erectile dysfunction when they were trying to have sex, and then after they kind of went off porn for like a couple months, they were able to overcome their erectile dysfunction.
Yes, because porn is about, again, it's about a quick release. So if you always watch these two folks doing regular stuff, then it stops getting fancy, I guess. But what people don't...
Yeah, that was...
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what they found, that like the porn was a lot more stimulating than actual sex was.
Right, but what I honestly think is, I think porn seems more stimulating at first, but if you really dive in with somebody, so to speak, then I think the act of sex with someone with whom you can truly figure each other out, I think that overall becomes more stimulating down the road. Because I think
porn, I think that kind of agrees with what the book was kind of getting at.
I think the perception of porn seems more stimulating, but in the ultimate act of it, I think it's way less euphoric after a bit, because it's not really it doesn't have as many dimensions as actual sex. So anywho, but that's pretty interesting though. You know, like there's a lot of stuff, like this just goes to show you nothing in life, porn, work, nothing like that, dating, nothing is as simple and two-sided or one-sided as you think it is. There's always a little facet to look at. Just very interesting. So, I'm just curious, what is everybody in around the world, anybody listening, what do you guys think about it? I mean, what do you think about the porn industry or, prostitution? What do you think about, monogamy? Like, I think I'm a big fan of the monogamous relationship myself. I saw a long time ago that it's really fun to have one person and you can figure each other out, and that becomes fun. As I said on the Valentine's episode, that's adult playtime. And I like to have someone with whom I can level up together. That's really fun. So, what do you think over there, Ian?
Me, hanging out with a bunch of hippie folks, I have had plenty of experience with this polyamory. Not too awful long ago, had a friend married to a woman for about 14 years. One of the two, can't say who, decided to polyamory. They went so far as to move from Iowa to southern Iowa and door to someone that they were sharing were involved with this other person. And we can all imagine what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Jealousy came in. Divorce. Pretty quick.
Now I'm just curious. I have to ask, which side had more of the same sex? Was it 2 dudes or 2 girls?
Oh, it was 2 men.
2 men and 1 lady. Is that a yes?
Yeah.
And 4, that is a yes.
Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. If you're trying, okay, I'm kind of like you there, Ian. There's no way I could do that polyamory because I'm way too selfish. I'm like, okay, you're doing what to my girl? No, only if you want to die, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
And not even just imagining what they're doing with someone else, but definitely the amount of time you had with them before.
Right. Like all
that.
How
do you ever know that they're thinking about you and not?
Right. Like the word selfish gets thrown around as it's a negative, but in a lot of cases, being selfish, particularly in this one, is a pretty good thing. Like, go ahead and be selfish if it means that you get to spend more time.
That's for sure.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, I didn't mean to be selfish. Yeah, go ahead and fuck my wife. I'm sorry, I meant to share. Like, holy, what? No.
Realistically, I think you can only form like a super strong bond with like just one person because there's just a lot of time and energy and commitment involved, and you just can't split that between multiple people.
No, but monogamy is mostly correct. I think there should be, lately, but an easier way out, because people get married quickly, if you ask me. But marriage isn't the same that it used to be. A temporary arrangement, leave anytime. Maybe some monetary setbacks when you leave.
Well, I think the idea is if you're going to leave, you should leave with essentially what you brought in. So if...
Oh, I fully agree.
Right. So, like, none of this, like, half and half shit. Like, if I got all the money and you're coming in and then you're leaving, you don't get half the money. And vice versa.
It gets really complicated really quickly, though, when you start sharing income or, like, one person stays at home and, like, takes care of the house and the other works.
How
like,
so?
Yeah, finances are a fucking
kids involved.
I understand the kids thing, but doing that would provide more of a monetary incentive for whomever's leaving. Like, what? I get to just leave and I still get all this money? Like, it gives too much of a temptation.
I'm just saying that, like, getting out of a marriage is always, even if you don't call it marriage, it's like just a relationship, it's going to be messy if you have, like, that much time invested into it.
We need to get a hold of our sponsor for the day, and motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's another.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Really?
Yep. It's John Lockhart. It's another John Lockhart with his Lockhart winery. Their phrase is.
Really?
Yeah, their phrase is, I can't believe you just drank that. So let's get him on the phone and have a little talk.
Oh, damn it! Who the fuck is calling?
Yeah, hey, Mr. Lockhart, how you doing?
Uh, I'm good. What's up?
Yeah, this is Dave the Fox and the Lollygaggers crew. We're calling to talk to you
you
about.
foxy bitch.
Yeah, thanks. We're calling to talk to you about your new winery you have open.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah. Oh, but let's see. Oh, well, this is really strange because it looks like the caller ID is saying you're calling from the state penitentiary.
I thought you were in the tropics.
Yeah, we thought you were in the tropics.
You know something funny about Brazil's extradition laws?
No, I didn't. I didn't know they had those.
Well, now, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, let's get back to your winery. I just have to ask a quick question. How do you make the wine?
It's not so bad. It's grape juice and some gin. We mix it in the turlet, and
But where do you get the fermentation?
but gin's already fermentation.
Okay.
Fox, he said he mixes in the toilet.
All right, so.
How do you expect me to mix the shit?
Yeah, like he doesn't have all that much room there, Tony. I mean, where would you make it?
Probably in a still or something. I don't know.
He's in prison, Tony. He's on his still.
Yeah,
Right.
I've seen more creative stuff come out of prison than
Have
anyways.
Have you actually sold anything, Mr. Lockhart?
I got a pack of ramen noodles for my first one.
Oh.
So my question, now, sorry, we're sounding a little bit selfish here, but you sold your wine for a pack of ramen noodles. How are you gonna pay us?
Pack of ramen fucking noodles.
Well, I'm just saying because we've been advertising your stuff here for a few months now, and the first one was
I appreciate it.
the first one was the auto shop, and then you had the ice cream. You had the jewelry store. You had the moving company.
Thing about prison girls.
The girls.
Pretty little girls in here.
Wait.
Oh, really?
That
Mr.
one.
Lockhart?
There's that black guy with the skirt, but it's not too pretty.
Mr. Lockhart, do these girls in prison have Adam's apples?
Adam's apple, but a big old dick.
Oh wow! I think Mr. Lockhart's starting to lose here now.
Well, I mean, I'm just.
Go flush that. Oh,
You take care.
Okay, that was a fun one. Like, I don't even care that we didn't get paid on that one.
Wow, that's how the mighty have fallen. I tell you.
I guess. Jeez.
I guess we're getting paid in entertainment value.
Yeah, well, we're also getting that pack of ramen
like
noodles, apparently.
Yeah. Well, how that works.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, Mr. Lockhart, I tell you.
All right, well,
I gotta tell you, I gotta thank him for I can play Monopoly again because we're missing a few $100 bills out of the whole set, so I can play Monopoly again.
no, that's pretty good. Thanks for the Monopoly money, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, let's.
He probably had other bills to pay.
Yeah, probably does. Oh, I mean, how much does a trip from Brazil cost anyway? Like, I don't think that's cheap. So,
Well,
anyway.
the taxpayers probably paid for that one.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's get away from that little happenstance. Let's get into a little bit of jaw jacking today. I think it's a pretty interesting day. We have our new member, obviously, Mr. Ian the Ox. Ian, would you be up for debating today?
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's the spirit. Hey, Mike, you're our resident champion debater. Would you mind stepping in on this one?
Sure.
All right, and believe it or not, the GOAT actually finally passed out. I'm the moderator today, and for those of you who don't know what jaw jacking is, we take a completely neutral subject, absolutely neutral, and we have people argue whether it's Democrat or Republican. Okay, it can be something as neutral as clouds, right? So let's flip to see who. First of all, Mr. Ox, would you like to be Democrat or Republican today?
Man, I tell you, I think I'm feeling a little Republican.
Okay, all right. So you got the Republican on Ian's side, and Mike makes you the Democrat. All right.
Okay.
So because Ian picked the side, Mike, you call it in the air. I got a coin. Here we go. Ready? Call it.
Heads.
All right. It is heads. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second.
Second. All right. So
Oh, bad move, boy.
today the subject is manuals. Are manuals Democrat or Republican? And when I say manual, I mean the manual that comes with any appliance that tells you how to do something. The instruction manual. Okay? Is that Democrat or Republican? Ian, you are going first. Please, let's hear your argument.
So you see, a good manual is like a good book. The good book, I tell you. It's a lot like the Bible, letting you know which way to go, guiding you straight and narrow, right to that righteous path.
All right. Mr. Democrat, go ahead and rebut if you, or your opening argument. Sorry about that. Your opening argument.
Well, the Democrats are passionate about educating people. You know, we want to make sure that everybody's educated so that, you know, we can be beneficial and contribute to society. And one of the best ways to do that is by handing out manuals. Because, you know, if you're trying to fix a PC or, you know, repair your car, you're going to know it unless you look at a manual. So, you know, it's just a great tool for educating people. And so it has to be Democrat.
You trying to tell me that you're more educated than I am?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what your education is.
Look at any of these Ivy League schools. They've all got names like Dartmouth and Jesus-y stuff. They're not, in your point, they're not democratic at all. They are fully us conservatives. We know that you need to write it down, praise the word. You need to spread the word of these damn good manuals.
I mean, most of the big universities and colleges are very liberal.
Liberal arts colleges or something? Yeah, I'll be dipped if that's the case.
Okay. I think you're getting a little bit sidetracked here. It's not, the argument is not about colleges being Republican or Democrat. It's manuals. Manuals being Republican. I believe that was the rebut from the Republican side. Mr. Democrat, could you please you know, do your rebuttal?
I'm not sure if that was a proper rebuttal.
Okay. Do you have anything more to add then, Ian?
Yeah.
I think I've got this one pretty well in the bag.
All right. There you go. There's your answer.
One moment.
Okay. So did you catch the game the other day, Ian?
Of course I did.
All right, Mr. Democrat, what's your rebut?
Well, I guess I just have to say that again, that Democrats really like to educate people. You know, make sure that we're doing things the right way. Because you know, we believe that there's a right way to do things, and you know, manuals are a really good way to inform people on how to do it. And I'll just make sure that they're educated, unlike my opponent is. You know, because it's the uneducated people out there who cause problems. You know, people who just throw out the manuals like, you know, a lot of Republicans would do, and they, you know, just try
hell
to
no.
figure out.
We follow the instructions down to the T. Sir, have you even read the good book? That is the ultimate manual.
I have read the good book, but what I'm saying is that a lot of people out there will just throw out the manual. They'll throw out the car manual and they'll just mash the buttons on the dashboard till they figure out how to work the, you know, the wiper on the back of their Ford or something. You know, they just want to figure it out on themselves.
Sounds like a bunch of goddamn stupid liberals. Those damn millennials, all of them being liberal, they don't bother learning the right way.
No, I would bet that it's a lot of liberal people who would take the time to read their manuals and try to figure out how things work. You know, the proper.
Don't have time to read. They've got all their smart devices and their blue teeth. No one knows what's going on.
Well, that's fair. I mean, but they can watch a YouTube video on it, and that's kind of like using a manual.
What's this world coming to?
All right, wonderful. So that's a great rebuttal, I guess. Mr. Republican, what is your closing argument?
Anyone smart enough to read a manual in the good book, as I said, must be a Republican. Know how to do things right.
All right. Mr. Democrat, your closing argument.
Well, when you throw out your manual and you just try to figure things out on your own, it just creates a lot of chaos. And, you know, a lot of people, just like the Republicans, they want to be free to kind of choose whether or not they use the manual or not. But I think that it's important for people to understand that if we all use the manual, then we can all just kind of skip the chaos part and get to the part where society functions and we figure out how to fix our cars. That's all I got.
All right. Well, there's going to be something pretty heavy to chew on. I'll make the decision here in a second. For the first time in Jaw Jackin' history, we actually have some calls from the listeners. So let's go to the first line. Excuse me. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Is this David?
Yeah. This is Dave the Fox. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Well, wonderful. What did you hear the debate?
Yeah, I sure did. And I have something to say.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the ultimate guide is not the Bible, as the Republicans so clearly stated. Really,
no.
The ultimate guide is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It literally guides the whole galaxy. His book only guides this planet. Clearly.
Okay.
He's clearly wrong. It's as liberal as possible. Manuals are liberal.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's wonderful. I'll take into account. Let's go to the second caller. Hello.
Hi, I'm Brian.
Hi, Brian. Where are you calling from?
Overseas.
Overseas?
Yeah. Thunder.
I cannot understand you.
Yeah.
All right. Where are you calling from, Mr. Brian?
Thunder overseas.
From Thunder overseas. All right.
Thunder.
Were you listening to the debate?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? Are manuals
Great.
Are manuals Republican or Democrat?
Evil guns. Yeah. Thunder.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brian. No, thank you, Mr. Bryan. Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Click. No, thank you, Mr. Bryan. Oh, geez, that guy. What the hell? Okay. The second one got a little rocky, I guess. Let's go to line 3, I guess. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, this is Professor Marcus.
Hello, Professor Marcus. Where are you calling from?
I am calling you from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Oh, from Sao Paulo. You know, we were just talking to a Mr. Lockhart who was in Brazil for a bit. That's pretty
I
fun.
do not care.
Oh, all right, thanks.
Okay.
I have no interest in your friends.
I mean, that's fair.
I suppose.
I am here to set the record straight.
Okay.
About Manuel. He is a beautiful man. Manuel is not a Republican at all. Manuel is liberal.
No. I mean, Emmanuel.
My friend Manuel, he goes to all these Occupy Wall Street protests. He loves the president, Barack Obama.
Excuse me. I think there's a little bit of a miscommunication. We're not talking about a person named Manuel. We're talking about an instruction manual.
Oh, my English is not so good.
That's fine. So, what do you think about instruction manuals? Are they?
Instruction manuals. I think they are pretty conservative.
Why?
Because they are much like La Biblia, this Bible of yours, is a manual for all mankind.
Okay. Thanks for calling, I guess. All right.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. How about line 2? Let's go back to line 2. We got another caller coming in. I think it's...
Well, hello.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing now? I'm doing pretty good.
Doing pretty well. Where are you calling?
Are you feeling quite complete today? Are you doing pretty good?
I'm doing all right.
All right. That sounds good.
So, where are you calling from?
Well, I'm calling from somewhere in the United States. I can't tell you where I'm calling from, but it sounds great.
Can you give us your name?
Oregon.
Oregon?
My name's Oregon. Eamon.
Oregon Eamon.
Yes,
all right.
Of course.
What did you think about the debate?
I thought it was very interesting on many scales of epic proportions of all types and classes. It was the best discussion upon the cosmos I've ever heard.
Right. Can you give us your opinion on whether you think manuals are Democrat or Republican?
Well, it comes down to the question and the hero part of the whole story. The epic thing that comes to make us all. I think people in general are all the same. And if you are Republican or Democrat, and there's a white fuzzy bunny running around the earth, it will get one thing in general. Just one thing.
What's that?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Cheese. Yes, cheese is the key to the whole populations. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, sir. We're gonna have to cut him off. What the fuck was that guy talking about? Cheese?
I mean, he started out good.
Yeah, it sounded really not like he sounded really interested, but all right. So let's see. I think we got time for maybe 2 more callers. Let's go back to line 1. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I am fine. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Who's this?
This is Yakov Smirnov from Russia.
From Russia, huh? All right.
That's right.
All right. So, what did you think about the debate?
What debate?
Well,
I have not seen. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no debate for you.
well, no. We just had a debate on the show. You're calling in to
Oh
give
yes,
us.
yes, your manuals. Yes, I remember why you call. I am a little bit drunk here.
Okay. Well, are they Democrat?
Drinking. Wait, who am I drinking? This is vodka. No Democrat.
No.
In Soviet Union, there is only one party.
No. Well, I'm sorry about the Soviet Union, but you know that ended about 30 years ago, right?
Hey, not in my heart, it didn't. It is still burning like a big fire.
Okay. So, do you think manuals are Democrat or Republican?
Well, in your capitalist country, there is only two choices, and the manual is important for structure. And the only structure in your parties is in your Republicans. There is your liberals all over the place. You don't know where they come from. So first they support this and that. They have their gay marriage with their men touching. It is not good. There is no manual for men touching. You cannot read how to hold penis. Thank you. That is all.
Okay, thank you, sir, from Russia, Mr. Yakov. All right, thank you very much. And I think we have time for one more on line 2. Hello, sir.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hi. Can I ask who's calling?
Call me, James Jetfield. Yeah.
James Jetfield, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So what did you think about where are you calling from?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the debate?
Yeah. Never fear, yeah. Oh, it's great. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm taking a little side here. I'm gonna. The old Republican guy seems pretty good, and as long as he set me on fire, I'll be good. Yeah.
All right. So you're on the Republican guy. So you think manuals are Republican?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
thank you for the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. No. We gotta hang up now. I thought we muted that. Okay. I thought we hung up. Sorry. That's a loud man. Very excited. All right. Let's see. We got about 2 minutes. We got time for one last call. Back to line 1. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, this is Marty McCutcheon.
No, not Marty McCutcheon. This is David.
Do you play Led Zeppelin 3 times in a row?
No, sorry, sir. We're not a radio station. We're a podcast.
It's my mom's birthday. Come on, man.
We're a podcast. We're
podcast.
Lollygaggers.
What, like Tide Pods?
No, what's a Tide Pod?
Tide Pods, those are the things you're supposed to eat, I think.
Okay. What?
Yeah,
I don't.
No, you're not supposed to eat those. That will kill you.
That's what it said on the internet, though. And you guys are on the internet, right?
Right, but we didn't put it there.
You're supposed to eat.
Those are memes.
To eat memes. I don't get it. Whether you're gonna play Stairway to Heaven or not.
Dave, can I step in here? I gotta address this, okay? Can I step in here for 1 second?
Mr. What's your name again?
Yeah, my name is Brad.
Okay, Brad, this is our resident goat. Go ahead and have a conversation.
Goat.
All right, words of wisdom from the goat. Never eat anything colorful, because if you eat something colorful, it will kill you.
What about enchiladas, though?
Well...
Like, you got tomatoes on them?
Are you over 50?
No, man.
Then go for it. Hit it up.
All
When
right.
you go over 50, eat some acids and Tums and
Tide
whatever.
Pods on my enchiladas? Is that
No, it's colorful. It's all blue and orange and stuff. You don't do that. If you have a race car, yes, stick it up your butt and drive, okay?
Oh.
but you
Well,
don't have a
I
race
can't
car.
afford no car. I
Well,
ride my
then
bike.
you're safe. You're safe. You're safe.
All right.
So-
Thanks,
So
Brad.
are you playing-
Thanks, Brad. I love you, man. Thanks for your opinion. Also, Zeppelin sucks. See ya. I don't think Zeppelin sucks. I was just doing that to get a rise. By the way, if anybody's
my
offended,
God.
if anybody's offended at our Led Zeppelin sucks joke or anything we say here, please meet us at 39.03 degrees north, 125.76 degrees east. We'll be waiting. All right, so that was jaw jacking, everybody. It's pretty interesting. So we got to do the moral of the day, and we have an extra person today. So, Ian, what is your moral of the day?
The moral of the day is the same as every day. Love your neighbor, but not too much.
All righty, pretty interesting thing. Let's see here, Tony. What is your moral of the day?
Well, after our first intro there and watching all the porn actresses, I pretty much figured out is moral of the day is never buy a dildo with an M80 in it and stick it up your butt
All right.
and light the fuse. Just don't do that.
All
It'll
right.
make a very, very bad impression or artwork in your bathroom
All right.
place.
So no firecrackers in your crack is what you're saying.
Exactly.
All right, that's a pretty good rule to live by. Hey, Mike,
Yep.
what's your moral of the day?
Don't underestimate the power of sex.
Oh, it's not too bad. So, my moral of the day. Let's see. My moral of the day. Let's see here. It's been a pretty long one for today. I think my moral of the day is, if you're gonna get into porn for the wrong reasons, make sure you smuggle a phone in your ass with a manual. Okay?
I couldn't agree more, man. That's inspired.
Wait, who's this?
Who the hell's that?
This is Brad, man.
Brad, you're still here?
Brad's still around?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I thought you wanted me to keep going.
No.
I'm thinking, Dave.
We hung up on
Intern?
you. I thought we hung up on you.
No, hold on.
let's-
Just give me a second here.
What the hell are you
What are
you
you doing?
starting something there, Brad? What are you doing?
Well, I picked up some of those Tide Pods. I've been snorting them down.
Oh, Jesus
don't eat 'em.
Christ, are you kidding me?
What
I
you're gonna want to do is you want to call 911.
No.
But hold on.
Hey, could you do me a favor? I
don't
think
No, I don't think he's. I don't think he's. I think he's out, man.
Yeah.
I don't. Are you okay, Brad?
I think Brad's getting the buzz from the Tide
Brad,
Pods.
dinner's ready. Brad? Oh God! Someone call 911. Brad's Brad.
All right,
Sorry,
we
sir.
got
Call
yeah,
an
we got
ambulance.
nothing to do with this shit.
Bye.
Well,
okay.
now we're all accessories to murder.
Yeah, that's great. Just Brad, let's hang up the goddamn phone.
Sorry, Brad.
Seriously.
Yeah. All right. So I
Anyways,
guess-
back to the moral of the day. Dave, do you want to change your moral of the day?
Okay, new moral of the day. If you're gonna snort Tide Pods, wear a helmet. Okay, that's it for us at the Lolligaggers crew. We'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good one.